I love you. I love you so much. I don't know why I wore makeup today. Oh, thank you. I love you. I've been crying all day. It started when all of you came together and sang the song, "You Will Be Found." I don't know if you noticed, I was sitting over here in my little corner. They surprised me with that song. They tricked me, told me it was something very different. As I heard the words to the song and saw all of you come together in such a beautiful way, I was so moved, and I was reminded that that's what doTERRA represents for each and every one of us. Each and every one of us have been found. We've been found by someone who loves us, who's told us that we have value, who's told us that we matter, who's given us the keys to unlock our potential. And as you sit here today amongst friends, I want you to be reminded that you have been found. But now those very keys that have been given to you to unlock your potential have been put in your hands. And now our job is to take those keys and to go out into the world and unlock someone else's potential, to allow them to be found. I was having a conversation backstage today as we talked about the amazing talent that so many of us have. And our gifts and our talents are unique to us for a reason, as I talked about yesterday. But so many of us don't fit into the traditional business model. And so we don't know what to do with these gifts and these talents that are so beautiful and so grand and are capable of changing so many lives. What I love about doTERRA is it gives you a platform, it gives you a vehicle in which you can apply these amazing gifts, to be able to develop those gifts, to become better and greater, and to invite others to come along this journey with you. Because the beauty about doTERRA is we've recognized so many amazing people at our celebration night last night, is that you can't arrive there alone. You must bring people along with you. And through the process, not only do you become better, not only do you magnify your gifts, but you do the same for others. You give them that safe place of belonging. So on that thread today, I want to share with you the story of Blue Lotus. How many of you love Blue Lotus? Yes? So as I was preparing to come here, I learned that many of you have not heard the story of Blue Lotus. So I asked if I could share that with you, and so I'm excited to share that with you today. There is a phrase in Chinese, and I hope that I pronounce it somewhat close, Chayuni Erban. And it means to grow out of the mud unsullied, to be principled, and to be incorruptible. That is the meaning of Blue Lotus. So if you think about the Blue Lotus flower, there is symbolism found in the very nature of her biology. You see, her roots grow deep in the mud of the mucky river and ponds, but the stem and the flower rise high above the leaves that float atop the water. Many people think that at night, the flower dips below the mucky water, but in fact, that is not true. The Blue Lotus stands high all night long. Although it closes, the bloom closes at night. At morning, as the sun comes up, that blossom comes alive and opens up again, showing that she is incorruptible, that she stands above the world, although the mucky pond lies beneath her. Daytime, she reaches up towards the heavens. The blooming at dawn represents our ability to start again each day, to rise above all the threats, all the chaos, all the difficulty, all the trials of life that try to pull us down. Blue Lotus is a reminder that we can rise above our highest potential, that we can live our lives according to our highest ideals. Blue Lotus is a reminder that we can bloom into the person we are meant to be. Right? Yes. Yes. So when you think about the history of Blue Lotus, this flower has enchanted us for 3,000 years, right? These petals and its oils were valued by healers, by pharaohs, by artists, before science could tell us why. They understood there was something so sacred, so special about this blue lotus flower. The ancient Egyptians considered blue lotus to be a sacred plant of the gods, a plant that elevated their state of consciousness and connected them to the divine. In fact, they carved blue lotus blossoms on the walls of their temples, tombs, and pyramids. The flower opens each morning with a sweet perfume and an intense golden center against the deep blue petals. So this really looks like the sun meeting the sky. And as the sun goes down, the flower closes, only to open again the next morning. The perfect symbol of perpetual becoming, a symbol of rebirth and our ability to start each day anew. You think about that. How often do we hold on to our mistakes of yesterday? How often do we live in regret and shame of wishing we would have made different choices? It's not how we were intended to live. As part of living, we will stumble, we will make mistakes, but we are not meant to live in the shame of that, but rather look forward to what lies ahead and be grateful for the wisdom that that experience gave us. I fell in love with this oil when I was first introduced to it back in 1998. I thought it was so exquisite. I was absolutely infatuated with it. And then, a year later, I discovered that it was a complete fake. It was absolutely man-made, synthetic. So I searched for years for a pure source of blue lotus. Looked everywhere, trying to find it. Everything I found, of course it all claimed to be pure blue lotus, was synthetic. So you see, blue lotus grew on the Nile River. It was very popular not only in Egypt, but then it also became popular through the Roman Empire, through Greece, and even India thousands of years ago. But then it disappeared and was completely forgotten. The blue lotus flower was so revered by the Egyptian pharaohs that no longer grows along the Nile River. Pollution and environmental changes have made it so that the Nile River no longer houses this precious, precious petal. So when our sourcing team came together, they brought me a sample in 2019. And I was so excited about the sample that they brought me as I smelled it because it was exquisite. It was so beautiful. However, I was so disappointed because there was simply not enough to provide for doTERRA's global demand. So we're able to offer it as a limited time offering And then that was it. You see, even though we found some massive ponds of Blue Lotus, it simply wasn't enough. It takes an astonishing 1 ton of petals to produce just 1 kilo of Blue Lotus extract. So no wonder the supply wasn't there. But we continued our search. We did not give up. And then a family was discovered in China that was selling Blue Lotus at a small local market in rural China for use as a religious offering. It's often used in the Buddhist religion. Remarkably, this man, Mr. Guo, was the first to grow Blue Lotus in all of China. When he finished with the military, he had a dream that he would figure out how to grow Blue Lotus, which means you have to create ponds in order to do this, because it was so symbolic to his faith and his family's generational religious offering. He was able to do that. 1998, the very same year that I started my search for Blue Lotus. So as we went forward in China with amazing partners who are innovators, who are distillers, and we asked them, could you help us? Could you help us find Blue Lotus? So they came together with Mr. Guo to ask him, would you like to dream bigger? He said, yes, I'm all in. So larger ponds were built as we were able to create a production, a cultivation of Blue Lotus that allowed us to bring this Blue Lotus to you. It took us 4 years to accomplish this. 4 years. But those things that are worth having, they're never easy, are they? They're never easy. 4 years later, I'm proud to say that today, doTERRA has 100% exclusivity to the world's only pure Blue Lotus. This supply chain was created exclusively for you. Yes, I'm so excited for what this means. So, more importantly, when you think about the purity of this oil, I want to talk about the sourcing, the supply chain, and what it means to them. This was created with so much care. It truly is a labor of love that has created ripples of change that will continue for years to come. When I visited the Blue Lotus ponds, I was amazed at the level of detail that goes into growing these flowers, taking care of these flowers. The lotus plants are plagued by snails. They eat the stems and the flowers of these pods. And every day, these snails have to be removed by hand. The water has to be checked every day to make sure that it's clean. They have little fish that they put in little baskets to make sure that the fish are still alive. And if the fish get sick or if the fish die, then they know something has happened to the water that they have to change to make sure that these lilies, these Blue Lotus plants, stay alive. These are 3,000-year-old plants now growing in this little village in China. Now seeing Mr. Guo's dream come to reality. To see that expand and grow made my heart feel so happy. The beautiful women who are working in the ponds have come together in a collective, magnificent way. And as I sat with them, they were so happy to share with me what this job means to them. For some of them, it meant they're able to send their children to school. For others, it means they get to stay in a community where they feel safe, that has been part of their heritage for generations before them.